Comrades, this is Aurelio Paredes Bautista again, the President of Fellowship with Humanity. During our first English language lesson, we tackled the issue of what. They are 207 nouns that I gave you, and I asked you to give the equivalent in your native language. Today, we shall be discussing lesson 2, and this is about there is, have, and some adjectives. We are talking now about there is now. In Tagalog, it is very definite. When you say there is, you're just pointing to an object, but you are not saying you own it or who owns it. But in Japanese and Korean, the English there is an apple in the box may mean I have it. So the Tagalog is there is apple in the box. If you look at the two, they are almost the same. But in Japanese, the sentence in the Japanese language is apple wa box ni there is. So you can see that there is a difference in the arrangement. So you have to familiarize yourself in the arrangement in order to learn faster in English. The same way with the Korean. I noticed that the Japanese and the Korean arrangement are the same. Conclusions. It is easier to learn English for a Filipino. Koreans and Japanese must repeat the English for each item to familiarize oneself to the word arrangement. What I mean here is, in the previous example of what, you have to repeat every word by saying there is, for example, an orange in the box. There is a fish in the sea. Something like that. Here I'm showing you have. In English, we can have an example like, I have a papaya. In Tagalog, the arrangement is have I papaya. Meron akong papaya. But in Japanese, and also in Korean, papaya, ga, have. That's in Japanese. Papaya, ul, have. So, you can see that there is a big difference between the Japanese and the English. And you have to familiarize yourself with the arrangement here in English, because you will be speaking English later. And you have to probably stop for a little while thinking in Japanese when you make a sentence, or stop thinking in Korean when you speak in English. In Japanese, the expressions of having and saying there is may mean the same, but not in English. You have to involve the I. You cannot say, there is papaya, to mean I have papaya. Same way in Korean. The key to learning English is repetition, because the arrangement is not the same. Since we are now using the verb be, it is about time that we introduced the conjugation. So, we conjugate the verb be in English by saying I am. You are. He, she, it is. We are. You are. They are. There is for singular. There are for plural. Get back to the classifications in lesson 1 and use there is and have for 207 examples. Now, I shall introduce you to the adjectives. English adjectives. In Japanese, adjective is keiyoshi. In Korean, adjective is hyongyongsa. So, we're now talking about the adjectives of taste. Here, taste. With your mouth, with your tongue. So, sweet. There is sugar there, and it indicates sweet. Lemon indicates sour. Salt here is salty. Pepper is hot or spicy. Apple is delicious. Medicine is bitter. Apple can also be not delicious. So, you have two classifications for apple. Okay? Now, your assignment will be to put here the equivalent in your language. So, for sweet, in Japanese it's amai. So, in Korean, you have to put the equivalent also. So, there is here an arrangement in the English sentence. Sugar is sweet. That's English. Sugar is sweet. That's Tagalog. Ang asukal ay matamis. But in Japanese, sugar wa, sweet is. So, there is a difference between the arrangement here in Japanese and in English. But the Korean, being the same as the Japanese arrangement, is also very different with the English arrangement. So you have to familiarize yourself with this arrangement, the English arrangement. So, sugar is sweet, lemon is sour, salt is salty, pepper is spicy, and the apple is delicious. Here are some more adjectives. These are opposites. Big and small, rough and smooth, long and short, soft and hard, light and heavy, slow and fast, wet and dry, cold and hot. Here are adjectives in sentences. Number 1, the celery is big and long. See, we're now compounding the adjectives. That's in English. In Tagalog, it says the celery is big and long, the same. In Japanese and Korean, celery wa, big and long is. So, there is again a difference in the arrangement. So you have to familiarize yourself with the difference. And then repeat and repeat and repeat by using the 207 examples, if you can do it. Second, the apple is small and sweet. That's English. In Tagalog, the apple is small and sweet. Tagalog, the same. But in Korean, like this, apple, ul, small and sweet is ida. In Japanese, apple wa, small and sweet is des. So, familiarize yourself with those adjectives. When you use the word there is, you have to include the phrase expressing locations. Because to me it is somewhat weird that you say there is an apple without saying in the box. So, I am introducing to you the phrases expressing locations. This is the box. In the box, that's the phrase. Church, inside the church. Mountain, in the mountain. Garden, in the garden. So I give you the example. There is an orange in the box. That's English. In Tagalog, there is orange in the box. Almost the same except the an. Because we usually do not use the article here, an. Orange wa, box ni, there is. That's the Japanese. Orange nun, box. I forgot, but I think it's a. There is. So, the Japanese and Korean are almost the same. But, the English is very different from the two. Familiarize yourself with the English arrangement by repetition. That's always your assignment. Now I have some more adjectives for you regarding colors. So, the egg is white, the leaf is green, gold is yellow, ash is gray, the sky is blue, blood is red, rose is pink, the purple yam, the ube, what we call in Tagalog ube, is violet, the orange is orange, charcoal is black. Now the example, the egg is white, that's English. The egg is white, Tagalog. Ang itlog ay maputi. But in Japanese and Korean, the egg wa, white is. So familiarize yourself with the difference and repeat, and repeat. I have taught you how to make sentences about there is and have. Now, this is about time you asked the question. So in English, do you have money? That's a complete sentence. That's a question. In Tagalog, the exact equivalent is, have you ba money? Meron ka bang pera? In Japanese, money wa, have ka, because ka and ba indicates that's a question. In Korean, money will, have ka, same question. So, you can see that the Korean and the Japanese is different from the English. And Tagalog is almost the same as the English. But, there is no way to do it but to memorize and repeat. Instead of using this arrangement, use do you have. Do you have. And you can change this from time to time, from money to orange to apple to fish to meat or whatever you want to use. So, in English, the key for asking the question is, do you have? This is a phrase. Do you have? Comrades, we have discussed the way how to make sentences using there is and have. And I also have given you the adjectives. I hope you will study hard and use those examples. So long for now. This is Aurelio Paredes Bautista again.